You know, all this thing of getting old is not something that you really like, but it happens. I just was caught in the city and felt like a kind of character of a film of the Italian neorealism. The bubble of the reality where I used to live and I couldn't cross over to the other side. And I wanted to erase and delete as a magician all the mistakes I have made. Just like that. Oh yes, to get old is nothing funny. It happens to everybody. Sooner or later, well, if you live long enough, the wrinkles on the temples, to become forgetful. Even to forget what I had forgotten first. Trips and things I just wanted to do and never made. All my family was great Beatles fans, and once upon a time we used the Beatles hairstyle. And to smoke was just a little sign of rebellion. And the past, the way the past sounds, and my mind always elsewhere. The reason why many people think that I am a schizophrenic. I mean, I always wrote stories. I had many stories to tell in my mind and enjoyed that delicious sensation as I was falling asleep and I felt like floating. We know that there were many incompetent people related to my bosses that always got the best jobs that I should have earned by merit and because of my talent. And that didn't happen, but such is life. But you know, when I became an English teacher, I just was starting to use for the text and the words this kind of video recordings that were very roboticized many years ago. And in order to create the interest of my students, so I rewarded the best of them by making them the stars of a cartoon that I made myself.
Hello,
Hello, where you come from?
I come from Planet X. It is the planet Earth.
Yes, it is. Can you fly?
Yes, I came in my spaceship.
Are you friendly?
Yes, so to speak.
Well, those were my best students. They made a couple of errors here and there. You know, but the best time was when I felt in love. And I remember that afternoon when we were together. And many people criticized her, but she was one of the very few ones that understood me. And it was very romantically suitable that we were surrounded by couples of parrots that afternoon. And you know what? The love has always been elusive with me. It has always flown away. There is a reason for that. I am a sociopath until a certain extent. My elder and religious brother told me that I was an eagle, trying to cheer me up. I saw now to the eagles that they were behaving like buzzards. And you know, once in a while they just fly in circles, you know. And I was alone again. And you know, once upon a time, I had killed over 300 birds in a same year. And I suddenly hallucinated that those birds in those wires was like a jury that would condemn me to death. Always with strange ideas. And I imagined things as I saw the wall interpreted reflections. And sometimes I thought maybe this is so futile to do this kind of things like writing text to improve my English teaching. But in the middle of all this, that I didn't know quite well if it didn't make any sense, probably something happened in my life. An electric shock, an event. I saw a film, The Godfather. You know, these families, even as they were out of the law, they had even higher principles that supposed to belong only to decent persons. They had great empathy, they were reasonable, they had sense of humor, they were loving and protective with their families. And you know what? I wasn't any of these things. But an operator normally is a frustrated artist. As an actor, as a musician, or as a writer or something, their lives seemed to be more entertaining if I saw it that way. And I had to come back to the reality. I never came back totally to the reality. It was a pseudo reality. And then I went to something very different that wasn't the reality neither. And I was afraid of finishing my days sitting on a rocking chair, telling to the people the stories of when I had suicidal thoughts as I walked through the railroad. But you know something, I don't regret to have been a joyful teacher and teaching them about the joy of life and having fun and being original and being creative. I didn't regret to tell them not to be conventional and to dream about pushing the boundaries as far as they could, that they could achieve anything they wanted in their dreams. I didn't regret that, but you know, I knew that something weird happened in my mind anyway. For some reason I always had a dream of a virginal woman, and I had a creative block as a writer. But you know, I wanted to find out in my past, why did I want to kill myself? I suddenly understood the term galloping schizophrenic. Sometimes, even today, my imagination runs wild. and you know, even if I have to take a character, borrow it from somewhere, I'm totally convinced that if I am the only one or one of the few ones that has certain talents, I can do anything I want, really. Because you know, if there is only one life, what purpose does it make to have a conventional existence, as I didn't recommend to my students, as much as those boring principals of the schools where I have taught, and that bunch of bigots of the schools board? Why couldn't the students develop their own creativity until any point where they could multiply and extend and trespass all the limits? Why not to live with joy? No, I didn't regret to be the way I was. But Jesse, if I know that I have all these advantages and talents and features, why not to use it? What for should I remain like the others? I could detach and go as far as I wanted. I know I can do it. So I finally reached the conclusion that it hadn't been that tragic to remain in the city after all. But you know what? Normally I have been educated to think that nothing is possible, that I am a loser, and that I have to become the fool everybody else wants me to, or need me to be, and have seen the life with many hard feelings. And even poor birds were some of the ones that had to pay for the whole thing because of something that just had cracked in my spirit, and the repetitive dream of being rattling and being bleeding and dying. Then I woke up, just talking to myself. It just had been a dream, a simple dream.